Dr. Thomas Maples, and welcome back to A Sacred Journey. In today's episode, we're going to explore the first part of a two-part series in regards to self-awareness and creating a path to unleash our personal potential. First, we're going to define if we have met our personal potential. Then we're going to take a look at becoming self-aware, how we can allow the self we wish to become to stand as a goal, if you will, with the self that is currently moving in that direction. We're then going to explore the aspects of letting go and letting God, helping to create some elements of faith and belief in our capacity to move forward. So let us begin with a quote from Pope John the 23rd. Pope John the 23rd states, "Consult not your fears, but your hopes and your dreams. Think not about your frustrations, but about your unfulfilled potential. Concern yourself not with what you've tried and failed in, but with what is still possible for you to do." That quote was from Pope John the 23rd. So let us drop our fears and begin to nurture our hopes. Let us begin to shift those frustrations and utilize the energy that is put into those to begin to create avenues by which we could fulfill our potential. So that leads me to the question, as Pope John had said, what is still possible for one to do? Have you met your potential? Are you feeling fulfilled in life? Are there areas of dissatisfaction that may hold you back from obtaining your personal potential? As a practicing psychotherapist, I believe we all have inner work that calls upon us. This doesn't have to necessarily be pathological in nature, as a lot of times people may associate psychotherapy with the process of there being something wrong or some aspect of mental health that has gone awry. Instead, at times when we're looking at overcoming life hurdles or developmental hurdles, this is the aspect of inner work that does call upon us to grow within the natural developmental process of becoming who we are. How can we become the person we wish to become? Who are we? These are ontological questions that can gnaw at the essence of our soul. However, they are very important, and they allow a perspective to emerge, let's say a future perspective of that self that we wish to become, which in essence, when we begin to realize that nature, we're in the process of engaging the growing journey and the maturation journey to its potential. Many of us have unique strengths, and I know all of us can find a weakness that may need work. But when the weaknesses transition through the implementation of overcoming them by one's inner strengths, you can create direction in life. In turn, that direction is what helps nurture and foster personal potential forward. So let us ask, how do we get there? How do we get to a place of personal potential? How can we create effective meaning in life? And how can we meet our goals? Let us first define self-awareness and its importance in helping us navigate the developmental journey of psychological well-being. Now let us define self-awareness. Self-awareness is the cornerstone of inner growth. It is the cornerstone of our personal potential. To be aware involves developing a deep understanding of our thoughts, emotions, behaviors, strengths, and weaknesses. First and foremost, to be aware means to become conscious of who we are in the moment and what it is we're moving towards. Now, self-awareness is a practice. It is not a perfect. To be aware is not a stagnant event that at once achieved can be forgotten. Instead, it is a journey, not a destination. Self-awareness helps us gain clarity about our inner motivations, values, and even aspirations. When nurtured correctly, becoming self-aware also lets us to make conscious choices that will align with the self that we wish to create. In psychology, we call that the capital S self, that person we are striving to become, outside of the constraints that family, friends, or social expectations may put on us. Secondarily, self-awareness also allows us to mitigate the negative aspects of perceived weaknesses. Being self-aware empowers us to find areas to improve upon. These areas can then act as a beginning point to set meaningful goals by which we move towards. They also help us to define our strengths. By using a strengths-based systematic approach to the goals we set, we can hopefully develop systems to implement, and those systems can act as a means or a process to push us through towards obtaining our goals and our potential. However, no conscious is perfect, and at times we have to learn ways to lessen the noise in the head so we could learn how to let go and let God, if you will, guide us in a direction towards that higher aspect of self, or maybe even that higher calling that is calling upon us. To become self-aware encompasses a process of learning to let go and believe in a higher construct. By letting go and letting God, we develop interpersonal resilience towards a greater purpose, a greater vision, if you will. That purpose, joined with that vision, can then create movement that could especially help affect a life that may be stagnating. It will take physical, psychological, and spiritual work to re-envision that potential that you may be moving towards in order to reach higher goals in life. That will be the subject matter of the next few podcasts, where we'll explore a 10-factor analysis of personal potential from a positive psychology perspective. Now back to the aspect of letting go and letting God. This allows us to become self-aware, which simply put, if you look at it from a symbolic perspective, is like peeling back the layers of an onion, stealing that from Shrek, if you will. But when we begin to peel these layers back, we begin to expose our inner world. And it is here that we can begin to dig deep within the ashes that may be present, so we could find the glowing embers that could help maybe ignite a passion from within. By reflecting upon what is, we can unlock inner potential and create profound transformation in this process. Remember that the journey of self-discovery, self-awareness, is an ongoing process. Every step we take towards gaining this greater ability to become consciously aware helps propel our inner growth towards that personal potential. Now, this is a lifelong construct. It's one that we have to nurture throughout life. But in the end, when we begin to learn the process behind it, we could begin to see radical ways that we could accept ourselves in the moment as we house that capacity to be to move further towards that potential we seek to obtain. In our next segment, we will explore a 10-factor analysis from a positive psychology perspective. This will be done in a few different parts, as there are some key factors that we have to look at, especially as it relates to different areas that we have potential for self-development within. Some of these could be body, mind, and spirit, but others really include our physical factors, which relate to the body, and relational factors as well, who we choose to be around, who we choose to associate with, and really the calling of our dreams upon that self we wish to become. I hope you enjoyed this beginning part of exploring self-awareness, a path to unleash our personal potential. In the next segment, we will explore, as I stated, a 10-factor analysis of ways that we could harness body, mind, and spiritual well-being to become self-aware and to create inroads towards inner growth. As always, my friends, I would like to leave you with a blessing. Let your journey to realize your personal potential through self-awareness unlock before you, as you learn to believe, envision, and advance confidently in the direction of your dreams. Goodbye for now, and thank you for joining me.